3030. That's 617-770-3030. Now, here's the Car Doctor, John Paul, on AM 950 WROL, the spirit of Boston.
And good Saturday morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Car Doctor program on AM 950 WROL, the spirit of Boston, on this last show before Christmas. And hopefully everybody's going to have a great Christmas. But with us on the phone is David Ross. David Ross is the design manager of specialty vehicles for Chevrolet Performance and Accessories. He has a pretty, I think he has a pretty good job here with GM, because I think he gets to design all the toys. But let's welcome. Good morning, Dave, and thank you for joining us on the Car Doctor program here in Boston.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, it sounds like your job really lets you...
Hello?
Dave, you there? Hello?
Hello. I got you back.
Oh, there you are. Okay. It sounds like your job. Good morning, by the way. And it sounds like your job really lets you be able to play with all the toys at General Motors.
Oh man, I'm pretty lucky. I'm kind of one of these lucky, fortunate car guys that get to play in the toy store all the time. So it's an exciting job. Well,
it sounds like we were just talking about Christmas time, and it sounds like you get to be the guy with all the toys at work every day. But tell us what's going on with General Motors. What's the hot thing? And I understand, speaking of hot, GM Hot Wheels cars.
Oh, man, that was the fun project that we got to do this year. You know, we teamed up last year with Felix Holst, who's Vice President of Design in Hot Wheels. And, there's a lot of synergy between Hot Wheels and GM and a lot of history with them doing die cast of all the cars that we've built over the years. And last year we took a concept vehicle, a SEMA, in Las Vegas, and it was such a gigantic hit with the crowd that Chevrolet and the Camaro crew and everybody decided to let's give it a whirl and bring out a production car version of that.
Well, that sounds pretty exciting. And what powered that production car?
Well, we have the production car currently. It's just it can be had in any of the powertrains that are in the Camaro, the SS and the V6. And it's really an exciting package, and it's a bright color. It's called Kinetic Blue, and it is like a really intense blue with a lot of sparkle in it. It's got some pretty interesting graphics and stripes on it, of course. And of course, anybody that knows Hot Wheels, it has the proverbial, it has the bright red stripes on the wheels, just like they did back in when we collected them as kids.
Wow, that's pretty interesting stuff. Now, your job at General Motors, kind of give us the sort of Reader's Digest version of what you do when you go to work.
Oh my gosh, it's every year I've been doing this for a number of years, and I have a great team of people that I work with at Design Center, as well as Chevrolet Performance Division, and actually all the Chevrolet folks themselves, the product planners from all the program teams. And every year we pull together a number of cars, and they're all special builds and show vehicles that showcase, the intent of them is to showcase all the content and the great ideas and accessories and some of the limited editions that we're going to be bringing to market in the future. So we do occasionally do some concepts, which are really fun. And that's how the Hot Wheels started out, as a concept. And if the concept goes over well in the audience that we're showing it, it's right on top for the next year to look at it as a production option.
So about a month and a half ago or so, I had the opportunity to drive the 427 Corvette. Did you have any hand in that?
Well, I get to work on the accessories for that car. So,
okay.
So what a car, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It was one of those cars that all you wanted to do was put the top down and shut the radio off. And, it was a car that you could get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, you can get some trouble, but it's a lot of fun. It's really a car guy's car, and it's just it's a blast to drive. It's incredibly well behaved, and it can sure thrill you when you want to step on the gas, huh?
It did that. In fact, thrill might not be exactly what it did with my wife. I don't know. Hard to say. But, yeah, phenomenal car and well designed. I mean, right down to the kind of classic paint scheme on the car. It was very nicely done.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, as you are designing some of these things, and the kind of vehicles you design kind of go from, or work with the design team on, kind of go from one end to the other. Everything from Chevy Sonics up to pickup trucks, right?
Yeah, that's why I love this job, because it's like I get to work on everything. I worked on, we brought a number of Sparks, which are the new entry, the smallest car that Chevrolet's currently making, and we look at that from a lifestyle standpoint. It's not necessarily a performance like a traditional sense, but it has a lot of lifestyle characteristics and fun factor, and we tried to portray that in the concepts that we brought this year. The Sonic, of course, is a great car that's doing real well for us, and we are pushing some performance issues on that. We have some upgraded brakes and some suspension bits that really make the car fun to drive. And you go the whole way through to Cruise and to a whole way up to Camaro. We brought a concept Malibu this year, which was a lot of fun to work on. And of course, always the Corvettes, and that's the king of the hill for us for the performance side.
Well, and as somebody who works in that realm, I mean, as much as I suppose you get satisfaction out of anything you do that ends up as part of vehicle design. Somehow it just has to be more fun on a Camaro or a Corvette.
Well, when you start talking performance-minded guys like myself, I love the big blocks, I love the V8s, I love all the horsepower and the handling and all those things. But I'll tell you what, I've gotten into the Sonic with some of our performance bits on it, and boy, it thing is a blast to drive. It's a whole different concept and a whole different view on what performance can be, and it's a lot of fun. It tosses around. It's real easy to drive, and it's like I said, just a lot of fun.
Yeah. So listeners can rest assured that based on that last comment, I know you can't talk about future products, but the next generation Corvette that's going to be introduced in just a couple of weeks isn't going to be a 4-cylinder turbo.
Oh wow! I'll tell you what. Some of the technology that our powertrain's putting together, who knows what will happen in the future.
Yeah, I think you guys already leaked out the engine, so I think we're pretty.
It's actually a great motor, and it's going to be real impressive. There's been some preliminary discussions on some of the performance that the engine is capable of, and it's going to set a new world standard once again.
Yeah, it sounds phenomenal. We're talking with Dave Ross. He's the design manager for specialty vehicles for Chevrolet Performance and Accessories. And when we think about accessories, sometimes that term can be a pretty loose term. What does it mean to a guy like you?
Well, accessories range everything that's from comfort and convenience to performance, and just pure aesthetics and good looks. We have everything from decal packages that personalize your vehicle to wheels and tire combinations that make it unique, the whole way to custom formats that have logos printed on them, step plates for trucks and all kinds of things. So it really ranges across the board, and really at the end of the day, what the intent of the accessories is to give the customer the opportunity to personalize their vehicle exactly to fit their lifestyle and their passions and their needs.
And that's exactly, you kind of alluded to that with the Chevy Spark or the Sonic. Sort of the age group that would buy that vehicle would probably want to personalize it too, right?
Absolutely. We find that a lot of our customers really want to do that. The car is real accepting of things. We have some packages called Z-Spec that have striping packages and wheel packages that have special paint trim colors and some things on the grills and color coordinated. So you can go into the dealership and find a car and then tune some of the details in that car to kind of fit your taste.
And unlike going true aftermarket, you never have to worry about voiding any kind of warranties or having any kind of problems, right?
Absolutely not. Everything that General Motors and Chevrolet put together for accessories is validated through our rigorous engineering processes, and it does not void the warranty. It works very easily and perfectly with the car, and it's integrated right into the car as if it was built that way.
Now, the SEMA show out in Las Vegas, the Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. That show, I mean, years ago was really just kind of a wheel and tire show. And then the OE vehicle manufacturers started to show up and started to bring their concepts out that started to turn into production vehicles. Do you sometimes, as a designer, go to those shows and just sort of hide in the background and see what reaction is to certain things, as well as even some of the aftermarket products?
Oh, that's actually a key part of my my team and myself going to SEMA every year, because what's interesting about SEMA is that the convention center is absolutely packed full of all of the leading passion-driven car enthusiasts from all walks of life, all over the country, all over the world, and they all come together for that crazy week and show everything that they got. And it's just a really inspirational and incredibly exciting, opportunity from a guy like myself to be able to walk through the hall there and the miles and miles of displays and kind of get a good sense of what's new and what's hot and what the future might bring.
Yeah. And do you look at some things and kind of go, I don't know, and then you listen to reaction and have a change of opinion?
Yeah, it's we can talk a little bit about that real quick. Is that a few years ago I started noticing flat paint, and they called it satin. They called it, and it was on the hot rods and some of the kind of the outliers.
You mean barbecue grill paint?
Yeah, exactly. And and then the second year, it keeps building. Pretty soon, we convinced our management a few years ago to bring a satin finished Camaro to the show, and it was an absolute hit. And this year, I'll tell you what, there were so many cars from Bentleys the whole way down, our Cadillac CTS-Vs and things were painted flat black, flat colors, flat orange. It's really hit the market, and actually there are some possibilities of that in production.
Yeah, I will admit I'm a fan of the flat black. Not so much a fan of the flat white, which I've seen on some imports. So,
well, you got to get the right white. You got to have a really nice glow in that white to make it work.
Yeah. But it's an interesting. The first time I saw it, I kind of wanted to go out and polish the car, but
it's kind of counterintuitive because most of us are accustomed to, and we really like shiny objects. So
that's right. That's right.
Counterintuitive, but it really does make a visual statement.
Yeah, but it's interesting how you can take that and then kind of work with it, and then add some sparkle and some accessories around it that sort of offset the flat color. So
well, that's exactly what happens when you flat tone a car. You start to read all the wheels and the details and all of the other parts of that car that make the car unique.
Yeah. Now some of these accessories and I mean, I guess to some extent call them fads, can kind of come and go pretty quick, and it takes it. It's not an immediate thing. You don't see an idea or come up with an idea and come back and have it magically appear on a production car the next day. How do you look at something and say this is still going to be a terrific idea when it comes out a year or two from now?
Well, the real trick there, and that's really the objective of our creative team, is to be ahead of that curve. And so we're like I said, with like the flat paint, we're seeing things and picking up on things long before the creative people I work with, long before the average guy even knows that they're going to like that. And you see it starting to swell up, and you get on the wave before the wave crests. And the other side of that is that we are, as Chevrolet and General Motors, are getting very quick to market, and we're really work hard to get things quicker. So production development cycles and things have accelerated incredibly in the last number of years. So that there's it's the challenge, and you look at those kinds of new ideas and concepts, and a little bit of gut instinct and some good market research and some good people behind it, and hopefully we're out on top of the world when it hits the market.
Now, would you consider yourself an engineer or an artist?
An artist, without a doubt. I'm an artist that actually has engineering tendencies.
Ah, okay. So, do you look at when you're thinking of design and your team's thinking of design? Do you look at things in everyday life that just somehow appeal to you that can be translated to a car? I remember talking to to a designer one time, and he was in his kitchen, and he liked the look of the, I don't know, OXO hand grips on some kitchen knife, and he's like, this is the kind of design I want to see in, the latest whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, designers, and that's what we do. I mean, that's where we're a little bit unusual, I suppose, from most people in the fact that we do see things, and it's really the ability to take unassociated things that you witness through life and everyday living, and you pull those things together in a creative fashion, and let those things inspire you to do something different. And,
No, I'm just going to throw this out there, and you don't have to comment, but Jay Mays from Ford said to me one time, he walks through Target and looks at colors. And, when red kitchen appliances started coming out, he's like, he looked at that and said, we need to take that and be able to utilize that in the latest Ford Mustang or something. Do you look at similar things like that?
Oh, sure. It's like I'm such an incredible car guy. It's not an 8 to 5 job for me. It's literally 24/7. And everything I do, everything I look at, everything it's interesting. My brain immediately sees that as it applies to cars somehow.
So you have a sketch pad next to your bed?
I do, and I actually have. I spend a lot of time just jotting ideas down and. Doing quick sketches, little thumbnails of things to capture ideas, and I store a ton of images and things that interest me.
Yeah, and I have to imagine, walking around, with a camera or a camera phone all the time, just to look at something that maybe catches your attention, and you can kind of look at it and go, you just like the curve of an angle, or a radius, or maybe a certain angle or something like that would work well in a design somewhere.
Absolutely. And everything from architecture to nature. There's all kinds of inspirations out there. It's just a matter of seeing it and putting it into a relative term to how it could apply to a car design.
So if Marita, my producer, wanted to go to the local Chevy dealer down the street here, Best Chevrolet or Quirk Chevrolet, and said, I want to buy a Hot Wheels car, how could she do that?
I believe that actually the Hot Wheels are on there is a Hot Wheels version of the toy cars out on the market right now. If you want to go to the dealership and get a full-size real Hot Wheels, you just go to the dealership and ask for a Camaro in your Hot Wheels Special Edition.
There you go.
They'll give you all the detail. And also you can check with www.chevrolet.com/2012 SEMA, get that plug in there, and that will give you all the details on how to find the car. They are limited editions, and they're going to be come and go very quickly. And the response that we've gotten so far from the Hot Wheels is just phenomenal. So I expect that they'll be a real hot seller. So it's going to be a fun project. It's going to be a fun product for GM and Chevrolet, and it's going to be exciting to have see those out in the road.
And speaking of projects, is there a project in your garage at home?
Oh, yeah, there's actually too many unfinished projects like most people. So I do have a bunch of cars and some passions. I have an old classic Chevy, 1957 Chevy, that is part of our family for years, and I take it to a lot of car shows and meets. It's of course, I'm here in Michigan, so it's tucked away for the summer, for the winter.
Yeah.
But there's always something brewing in my garage.
What's any hot engines in that garage of yours, or?
Well, yeah, I got a 650 horsepower supercharged small block Chevy. I think that might qualify.
Yeah, I think that does qualify. I think that absolutely does qualify. Hey, Dave, I want to thank you for joining us on the Car Doctor program here in Boston, and I want to wish you and your family the merriest of Christmas and a happy New Year, and hope for more exciting things from General Motors to come in the future.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. This year's 2013 is going to be a great, exciting year for the performance side of our business, and we're going to have some great concepts coming out this year as well. So
great stuff. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Okay. Bye-bye.
That was David Ross. He is the manager of specialty vehicles for Chevrolet Performance and Accessories. If you want to join us,